Guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Geneva. This is Geneva in general. And guys, first and foremost, just really quickly, please allow me to express my gratitude and just me being completely and just incredibly thankful for all of my generals out there. Guys, y'all just got me to over 4,000 subscribers. I believe yesterday morning, early in the morning, I woke up. I had to go to work. I went to training. Okay, I had a lot going on. I had medical appointments. I had some training to do. Okay, if you guys don't know, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I am Geneva. I am currently in transition out of the United States Air Force, the world's greatest Air Force. And again, I'm just so incredibly grateful for each and every one of you for getting me to over 4,000 subscribers. Now let's get into the topic, guys. Now, the other day, I made a video about Hannah Hidalgo and Olivia Miles, the fact that Olivia Miles is not declaring for the upcoming 2025 WNBA draft. Okay, unfortunately, we will not get her for our Chicago Sky, our skyscraper. She will not be, but she has decided to actually stay another year in college. Not only has she forgone the WNBA draft, she has actually decided to hit the transfer portal away from Notre Dame, okay, away from Hannah Hidalgo. This has led to a lot of drama, a lot of speculation. Again, I got over 30,000 views on that video. I think that's my most viewed video, okay? And a lot of people are speculating, saying that, you know what, it's because allegedly of Hannah Hidalgo's alleged homophobic views, her homophobic mentality that has driven not only Olivia Miles, but some other Notre Dame alumni, okay, for the women's college basketball team away and to actually hit the transfer portal. Guys, Hannah Hidalgo has decided to break her silence and address the controversial video that she uploaded of Candace Owens denouncing gay marriage and gay rights, and, you know, a man being with a man and a woman being with a woman. Okay, she has decided to come out and she actually called it a mistake. Guys, this is an article brought to you by Sports Illustrated, and it is titled, Notre Dame star Hannah Hidalgo breaks silence on controversial social media mistake. Guys, this is a very short article. It reads, last summer, Notre Dame women's basketball star Hannah Hidalgo shared a video of American political commentator Candace Owens, very controversial woman, saying to CNN television host Don Lemon, who was a gay black man, it's a sin, when speaking about same-sex marriage to her Instagram story. This decision from Hidalgo sparked a lot of controversy amongst the women's basketball community, given the prevalence of LGBTQ+ in same-sex marriage representatives and advocates in the sport. Hidalgo hadn't addressed this until her April 5th article in the Players Tribune, which was titled, Created a Monster. Until recently, basketball was this outlet. But when you're 19 years old and trying to figure your life out, and you start to get a buzz on social media, when you suddenly have a platform, it can be really overwhelming, Hidalgo wrote. It's a learning process. Among other things, you have to be intentional about what you post, which goes double if it's somebody else you're amplifying, as opposed to something that comes from your heart, that reflects your character and authentic self. You know the post I'm talking about, okay? So she already knows. Now, feeling misinterpreted is one thing. I've always been very private, and learning how to navigate the media and public as a young person is just plain hard, which it is. It is very hard. But realizing that I had this new responsibility and that I'd let people down, given the wrong impression, maybe even hurt people I care about, that got me spiraling, she continued. I grew a lot from the conversations I had coming off that mistake, especially with friends I was afraid I'd hurt. Instead, I was relieved to feel embraced and safe. I am not homophobic. I love all people and believe we all deserve to exist authentically, but I understand now how that narrative developed. I should have been more public about how much I value everyone's humanity and how that makes us unique as individuals can be what powers a great team. It says one must respect Hidalgo for deciding to address this controversy. Again, guys, Hannah Hidalgo just said it herself in that interview. She said, I grew from that mistake. She's saying that she acknowledges that it was a mistake to actually upload that video on her social media website, not website, her social media account. I believe it was her official Instagram account of Candace Owens talking to Don Lemon. Again, he used to be a CNN commentator, very, very famous guy who was a gay black man. And she said, like, you know, I denounce gay marriage. She said, I don't believe in men being with men and women being with women. And I further do not believe in it being legalized for the same sex to marry. So, of course, when Hannah Hidalgo posted that, a lot of people were like, okay, well, you come across as homophobic. Now, again, like, Hannah Hidalgo has not shied away, and neither should she shy away from her Christian faith. Okay, she has, talked about her love of Jesus, and, want to be, a great representative of Christ. I believe she actually spoke about how the reason why she's able to play basketball as good and as efficiently as she can be is because God and Jesus have bestowed upon her the powers and her skills of basketball, and that's her talent, that she wants to represent Christ and God through her basketball talents and skills. Again, guys, I grew up Christian. Now, again, as an adult, I no longer believe. Okay, at 15, I denounced my Christian faith. I became an agnostic atheist. That's how I identify myself these days as an adult. But again, like I remember growing up in the church. I went to church since I was like 2 years old. My mom forced us until I turned 15. I said, you know what, enough is enough. I had a lot of questions. I began, on my own journey. I began to empower myself and educate myself. I began to discover and educate myself and learn about ancient African civilizations. And like, did we, practice Islam faith or did we practice Christian faith? I had some, I had a lot of Muslim friends. Again, I'm from the east side of Columbus, Ohio. I graduated from Horizon Science Academy. I went to school with a lot of Somalis, Ethiopians, East Africans who, their faith is Muslim. Okay, they believe in Islam. And I remember, studying that and like, you know what? I studied Jewish. I studied all three of the major Abrahamic faiths. I studied Christianity. I was born and raised a Christian. I studied Islam. I studied Judaism. Okay. At one point, I was like, the Black Jews. I was on that, and I was like, you know what? All three of these religions have denounced, criticized, and prosecuted rather, same-sex marriage and homosexuality. Again, I don't feel that way. I believe that a man loving a man, a woman loving a woman can be beautiful. Again, it's not because of sexuality, okay? Just sexuality. Again, I identify, believe it or not, as heterosexual. But again, I have a lot of gay men and lesbian women in my family, my friend groups. And I'm like, you know what? I don't believe that someone is going to spend eternity, their soul is going to spend eternity in a lake of fire due to their sexuality. Now, again, like if you guys believe that is okay. Again, we are all entitled to our own opinions and our beliefs. Again, we are raised the way that we are raised, and then it's okay. Again, you can still subscribe to my channel. I'm rocking with you, and you rocking with me. It don't mean it got to be beef. But it's obvious that the social media narrative against Hannah Hidalgo being possibly homophobic to the point where it has driven her teammates, such as Olivia Miles, away from the transfer portal. Okay, she didn't hit the transfer portal away from Notre Dame. Clearly, this has bothered her. Okay, it's been bothering her for some time, and she wants to get it out there. She said it herself. I am not homophobic. She said, I see the humanity in all people. She said, I may love God. I love Jesus. I identify as Christian. That is my faith. I'm very proud of, respectfully. But that does not mean that, I hate gay people. Hannah said it herself. She said, perhaps maybe I should have been more authentic. I should have been more public with me, acknowledging the humanity and just the existence of all types of people. Okay. She's like, when I posted that, pretty much when she posted that Candace Owens video denouncing same-sex marriage and, how being, attracted to the same sex is like, it's a sin. She said, maybe perhaps I should have been more careful with my public beliefs. Now, again, I got a lot of people in my previous video talking about, this is America. We should be able to say what we want to say. We should be able to express how we feel. And I agree. I'm 100% for democracy, okay? I am so much for democracy. I decided to do 7 years in the United States Air Force, the world's greatest Air Force, okay? Because I wanted to protect our democracy. If you are Muslim, if you are Jewish, if you are gay, if you are straight, if you are bisexual, if you are Black, if you are Islam, if you are Hispanic, if you are Asian, if you are white, we should be able to exist as one people. As one people. Again, it doesn't matter if regardless of your sexual orientation, regardless of your faith, one and first and foremost, we exist under an umbrella called humanity. We are all human beings. We all belong to the Homo sapien species. And we should be afforded, as Homo sapiens, as human beings, I believe we should all be afforded a safe place, a safe space to exist as human beings and express how we are as human beings. As long as we are being, obviously not violent. As long as you're not violent, you're not disrespectful. I don't care. I don't care. I can be friends, like me personally. I could be friends with almost anybody as long as you are not hateful. Again, I have white friends. I got male friends. I got people, who are just completely different from myself. Again, we all are born and raised a certain way. And it's not going to be the certain way that, I was born and raised. I understand that. Again, I say this as a former Christian. Hannah Hidalgo, keep doing you. Keep being you. You got to be true to yourself first. Again, like, what is that William Shakespeare quote? To thine own self be true. Again, perhaps maybe you do believe that same-sex marriage or same-sex attraction, same-sex dating, perhaps you do believe in your Christian belief in your faith that is a sin, that is something wrong, that is immoral. Again, I'm not like trying to I'm not trying to say, I'm not trying to, encourage or promote hate. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like, it's not okay to be fake either. You know what I'm saying? Like if you were born Christian and raised Christian, and in your Bible it says like, homosexuality is a sin, again, that's your personal belief. Again, like I don't think it was smart for her to post that Candace Owens video denouncing same-sex marriage. But at the same time, if that's what you believe, that's how you were raised, that's how you were taught, that's how you feel, then be that. Again, overall, Hannah Hidalgo, Olivia Miles, they're freaking teddy bears. Okay, they're very sweet, young, innocent women. You can tell they're very respectful, but you can also tell that Hannah Hidalgo is feeling some type of way. She is actually regretting her decision, actually posting that Candace Owens video, okay, because it got her looking hateful. People were posting, again, I said it in my previous video, where I got over 30,000 views. People were on the crowds of Notre Dame games that had a poster board that said, Hannah Hidalgo, in order to get to you need the rainbow to get to the goal, saying like you need lesbian women, you need bisexual women, you need, women who are in the LGBTQ plus community in order to get to the goal. The goal being what? The goal being the natty, the trophy, the national championship. They said Hannah Hidalgo. If it wasn't for the women that's in your team that may identify as bisexual, homosexual, gay, lesbian, whatever, you wouldn't be able to be in the trajectory to the gold, to the trophy as you are. Because I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna just put it out there. People already clocked the T. It's been rumors that Olivia Miles has been, currently, could be, possibly still, is in a relationship with, I believe, Maddie Westbeld, who is also, I believe, a Notre Dame player, or used to be. I'm not sure if she's gonna hit the transfer portal too. Who knows? All in all, again, I used to be a Christian. I think it's fine. Everything is fine, Hannah. You ain't got to come out and apologize, but it's just like, just be careful. Again, we are in a social media driven current climate. People are looking for reasons to cancel people. Here on my channel, you see that poster right there? That's the only thing I got hung up in my apartment. People have accused me of hating Angel Reese. I'm gonna do a whole video on that, some other time. How could I hate Angel Reese? I love everything about her. Sometimes I give her constructive criticism. I'm like, you got to be very careful about who you let into your circle. Okay, with certain interviews that she was doing, it was certain things I would critique about her game. How she got to get them layups, to a certain percentage. People are like, Geneva, you're a hater. You claim that you love Angel Reese. I'm like, I love Angel Reese so much that I want what's best for her, both professionally, on the court, and off the court. Moral of the story, guys, you cannot please everybody. Again, I think that is very brave. It's very responsible and mature of Hannah Hidalgo to say, like, you know what? I am not, I'm not homophobic. I love all types of people, but I am born and raised Christian. She's very proud of her Christian faith. And again, I think that should be commendable. Again, shout out to Hannah Hidalgo for coming out and saying, like she said it herself, she said, I see the humanity in all people, regardless of what they identify as with. Unfortunately, if only we could all say that we see the humanity in people who may be different from ourselves. That's the beauty of the human species.